Caravaggio's masterpiece, Supper at Emmaus, was created in 1601. It is a meticulously curated work of art, but yet it depicts just a split second, a moment in time. Jesus is seated between two of his disciples. The men had met Christ earlier as they walked to Emmaus, but neither of them had recognized him. He is still a stranger to them until this moment in which he reaches to break the bread, and suddenly they recognize him as the resurrected Christ. The brilliance of this painting is that it is so normal. This isn't a grand place, it's an ordinary inn. The clothes that the disciples are wearing are shabby. I mean, frankly, they look a little bit unkempt. And just take a look at the face of the disciple on the right-hand side. He's got a red nose. It's like he's got a cold or something. This is an image that we are meant to feel, that we can engage with on a personal level. We're meant to feel as though we can walk into that space, and it certainly gives the impression of encroaching into ours. Look at the elbow of the disciple on the left, who is thought to be Cleophas. The exposed patch of white undershirt is designed to catch our eye so that we notice that it juts right out of the picture plane. We are also unlikely to miss the delicious looking bowl of fruit that teeters precariously on the edge of the table. A natural impulse is to reach out to push it back to safety. But if we feel compelled to reach out to the painting, both Jesus and the disciple on the right-hand side extend their arms as though to welcome us in. Indeed, there's even space for us at the table. Given the figures are all life-size, all we need to do is pull up a chair. To get closer or to move further away seems to be the dilemma facing Cleophas on the left. It's as though he's pushing his chair back, perhaps in fear, whilst leaning forward, incredulous, to get a closer look. The disciple on the other side of Jesus is often thought to be St. Peter, although here Caravaggio has depicted the man wearing a scallop shell, which is the pilgrim's badge, which would identify him as St. James. Whether St. Peter or St. James, his arms reach either side of him, evoking Christ's crucifixion. But this is also compositionally really clever, as the outstretched arms combined with the back view of Cleophas and his forward-thrusting head lead the eye to Jesus, whose face forms the apex of a triangle created by these three figures. It is clear that Christ is the focus of this work. This, unsurprisingly for Caravaggio, is not a traditional representation of Christ. It's not surprising that the disciples didn't recognize him, because taken out of the context of this painting, we might not either. He's young, clean-shaven, I'm going to say slightly pudgy, maybe even a little bit androgynous looking. We're taking our cue largely from the reactions of the disciples, but the way that he reaches across to the bread with his left hand, the robes that he's wearing, you'll notice he's not in contemporary clothes like the disciples, and also crucially the lighting all play a part. The sharp beam of light from the top left directs our eye exactly where Caravaggio wants it to go, to the side of Christ's face, illuminating him, whilst you'll notice it throws the innkeeper into shadow. The innkeeper is oblivious to the miracle that is unfolding right in front of his eyes. He is both literally and metaphorically in the dark. As viewers, however, in this painting, we are offered a glimpse of the divine taking place within the everyday world.
Caravaggio is the master of light and darkness. There's much that is emerging from the shadows, and everything on this canvas is drawn into the light of Christ. Now here, this is the end of the story that Luke tells, of Cleopas and his companion walking away from Jerusalem. Luke tells us of a grief that overwhelms them. There's an obvious fatigue on their faces. They have journeyed far, not just now from Jerusalem to Emmaus, but they have come far. They are disciples after all. The emotional journey is enormous and it's all-encompassing. They have watched with a certain disbelief, one that held their hopes and their dreams in such a tender embrace, but all those dreams, that vision, that hope has been drawn into darkness with his death. Even their clothes look tired and frayed, just like them. But this stranger they encounter on the road unfolds the scriptures for them. He brings their fears and their anxieties into the light. There's a kind of a new dawn emerging from their nighttime of grief. Jesus simply accompanies them, listening to them. He is their companion on the journey. But it's the meal that opens up everything. They are the ones that invite him in. He makes as if to go on. Stay with us, Lord. Now, Caravaggio places before us a beautiful evening meal, a supper. It's not too heavy, but it's satisfying and delicious. The way he's painted the meal on the table, well, it makes it look as if you could just simply reach out and take something, especially from that overhanging fruit bowl. Now, I'm presuming that Cleopas and his companion are the ones seated. The servant is the one who is stood at the side of Christ. But do you notice how he's drawn in? There's a wonderful look of captivated interest about him. He lingers a while, but it's not necessarily in what Jesus says, it's in what he does. The disciple in green, well, he looks as if he's about to leap out of his seat. I wonder if he's realized who this is as their guest stretches out his hand in blessing. He takes, he blesses, he breaks, and he gives. He looks as if he can hardly believe what he is seeing. Now the other friend, the one on the right of the canvas, is stretching wide his hands, almost as if he's reflecting the self-giving of Christ. But maybe that's the link that Caravaggio wants us to see. The bread that we break, the Eucharist we celebrate, the commemoration of the Lord's cross, his passion, his resurrection. All that love of the Lord is held in memory with bread and wine. But this disciple is obviously a pilgrim who comes to be encouraged and fed at this table. His little pilgrim shell is proudly displayed for all to see. These are pilgrims who are journeying into a deeper friendship with the Lord and a deeper understanding of what has taken place. He is risen, and it won't be long before they both leave the table and an unfinished meal and run to tell the others, their hearts burning within them. The Eucharist leads to mission. Christ is the companion in its truest sense, the one that we share bread with. In bread we remember, and in bread we are fed and enlivened. The Eucharist is our food for the journey, always sending us out, always to draw others into friendship with the Lord who reveals his presence to us so that we can be his living presence to others through the love that we share, especially when their journey is filled with fear and loneliness and anxiety and fatigue. The Lord never tires of walking with us, drawing us out of the death and decay of fear into the light of his presence and love. And it's the Lord who continues to walk with others on their journey as he reveals his loving, compassionate presence through us. Did not our hearts burn within us as he talked to us on the road and explained the scriptures to us?